Good morning, guys. Give you a warm welcome to the channel. It's day 2 of Foxtoberfest, and we are headed to Concord, North Carolina. So actually Charlotte, but we're going to take this car this time. The meet and greet went really well last night, but I have my son with me because we're going to a special place. He just don't know where yet, and I'm going to get his reaction when we get there. So with that said, let's get with the program and get this thing fired up. And yeah, she's a little dirty, but tomorrow's events are going to be even better, and Fridays are going to be even better, so stick around. So let's get this thing started, and I'll give you guys an update when we get to where we're going. Alright guys, we're about 13 miles from where we need to be, our destination. Hopefully it'll be a decent turnout for Foxtoberfest. And having fun making these videos, even though I don't get a lot of views on them. But I'm having fun cruising this car. I have my buddy with me. We've got about 12 miles to go, guys. We will pick up this video when we get to our destination, so I'll see you there. You have any idea where you're at?
No.
There's nothing on the planet like it, because it's the only one with a proper T44 transaction.
No way.
Yep. Our cars are as they raced 50 years ago. And we got roadsters, like one at Sebring in 66.
For me, there's nothing better than a Ford GT.
And a 180-degree setup.
Mine is
Bundle of snakes.
Mine's the Mark IV.
Yep.
Holman Moody race shop. We found out where he was at. I'll post a still photo of his surprise look when we got here. Actually, I'll just leave it in the video, but guys, this place is incredible. How they build these cars. These are the original GT40s, not a factory 5 or anything like that. These are the original cars that they're building. That's neat. Look at them. Look how they design upper and lower control arms. They look bigger on TV, don't they?
Yeah.
But in reality, they're smaller than that.
Yeah.
63 Ford Galaxy, actual race car, dude. Fireball Roberts car, dude. Oh, it's at the Festival of Speed.
What?
It's at the Festival of Speed cars. That's where they do that. You ever been up there? No, we never heard of it. These things are huge. You can see why they made them race cars. Look how aerodynamic they are. Fire up this thing. I've got the
and some of them they crossed. One goes over this way and one goes that way.
Yep.
And you got a breather, and it actually didn't even have a K&N on it. It was a little aluminum box with a tube sticking out,
really,
with baffles in it, And all that was to try and control the damn oil pukage problem with those motors. Because that little tiny cavity, 7,000 RPM, it'll fill that up with oil.
Oh yeah.
And see, I learned on the big blocks like these, you put a high volume oil pump on one of these and you sustain high RPM, it'll suck the pan dry and fill up the valve covers. So really a high volume oil pump isn't a good idea here, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I've got a bunch of unique experiences with these damn things.
I'm sure you do.
And in the end result, I mean, I'm a big block guy, Mark II.
Yeah.
I love them, but you know, I've done some really neat Mark I's. That one car I did with the Gurney Westlake, we raced it, or my friend had to hire a driver to race it, and they ran it multiple events, and he couldn't really get to the front with it. It didn't have it ran where if you did run out of fluid and ain't got no brakes, the e-brake ain't gonna do you no good.
I'm guessing that's guessing me not done it before.
Yeah. I've been gradually, I got this non-ethanol, higher octane stuff, and I've been gradually putting a gallon in.
Higher rod, what's it going to be running on?
Well, I got kind of a mix. This is 93 non-ethanol, but it's in there with a few gallons of 110. So but this thing, it'll run on 93. This car goes to Peru, South America. So we had to engineer a few things for that purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's got stainless steel fuel tanks instead of bladders.
Okay.
Those bladders deteriorate.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what tooling do you build it from? What tooling?
And they were contracted by Holman to do these with the original stuff. This board over here, there's a board by that banner. Yeah. Those are all the panels. It takes about 367 panels for all the individual panels. And then there's a jig over there that you put all the panels on to weld it off. When Lee got the chassis from England, he bought everything. He bought all the spare parts, the jig and everything with these chassis. So this is the last of the original stuff, and the body is made off the original molds.
So it's a little more legit than even Superformance.
It's way more legit than Superformance. And I worked for Superformance when the GTs were new.
Right, right.
And I did the first Superformance GT with my boss. I put the roll cage and the fuel cells in it, and I drove it through tech to get it accepted for the first one to go vintage racing. Had to meet all the criteria. So then we vintage raced, and I got a ton of experience doing that. We ran against Lola T70s with cheater motors. We ran against Corvettes with tall deck 454s. They're out there making 700 horsepower.
Right.
And we're running about 550 horsepower in a Superformance, which is heavier than this. And we could pretty much run with them. And Lola T70s, the guys with the big money, they're running small block Chevs with Hillborn fuel injection and 700 horsepower. I mean, it's off the chain. And like I was telling these dudes earlier, you're talking about cats that drop 50, 60 grand on a weekend on tires and fuel and at the track. Vintage racing is crazy. But all my experience doing that, when I came here to do this, I got a bunch of, like I've already been racing with them. Yeah. And then working side by side, I've had 2 or 3 Superformances in here that I did. And when you get them side by side and you start measuring and looking, then you start finding the differences. Right. And the Superformance, don't get me wrong, is a really, really good car, but they're a little enhanced. The fuel cells, the pods on the sides are a little bit bigger. The engine bay's a little bit longer. Nothing you would ever really notice. You couldn't stand back and really pick it out. Right. Not until you take a tape measure and really start figuring it out that there's the differences. But that being said, I still say they're still a GT40, and there's still formidable performance involved with it. We had a Gulf Mark I copy Superformance that one of our customers raced, and we had Roush build us a dry sump small block. It it was a cheater motor in every way. Jessel valve train, it would turn 8,000 RPM. Everything about it was over the top from what the originals were. And the shame of it was the guy couldn't drive it. But if you had ever got a good driver in that car, it'd freaking haul ass. When we started it in the pits, everybody knew it.
It was one of those.
Yeah, it was just, oh my God.
So what's in here?
This is a proper 427 sidewaller. It's got built as original, the original cam grind, the single 4-barrel. Everything about it is essentially as it were.
Very correct.
With the exception of the Edelbrock aluminum heads, but those heads are spec'd out like the original aluminum Ford heads that ran back in the day, which actually a lot of people don't realize. Ford did a lot of experimentation, and some of the GTs actually did have cast iron heads. And then they ran aluminum heads. I mean, they tried everything. And
Yeah, you gotta have the wooden block.
This is one of the nicest cars I've ever seen in my life.
You went with a Holly fuel pump, I see. Rather than like a Stuart Warner. I was gonna get your reaction.
those things are awful.
Yeah,
They're as bad as levers.
I'm not going there either.
You know, I had this guy, one of the Gurney Westlake motors I did, the guy was pointed about using those Stuart Warner fuel pumps. And I said, man, are you sure you want to do this? And he found some brand new, or they had them redone. I said, man, yeah, they're going to work. I'll do it. I'll plumb them. I mounted them and everything.
time at the Holman Moody shop. What you guys seen there and what I showcased you all were the last of the original GT40s. Not talking about a factory 5 racing car. I'm not talking about a super performance replica. Those are the real authentic cars. They're not the, like I was telling you, they're not the fakes. Those are the real authentic ones from the 60s. And how they are all made, it's pretty amazing. And to see that kind of history, a building full of history, that's amazing. And it takes them, you know, if you heard that guy, I don't know how the quality is in there, because there was a pump that kept going on and off. I think it was an air pump. But it takes them 2 years to build a car. And that one is going overseas, the one that was showcased. It looks like 10 miles. But it's a 427 cubic inch, makes 500 horsepower. Now that's very correct. Now that car didn't load that hard because they didn't need to. You gotta think, you know, if it idles that way, there's a reason for it. You know, easier on the valve springs. That car has to be made to run 24 hours like that. And you don't want a big loopy camshaft, or if you're too big of a cam. Alright, yeah, you're going to get power, but if you're running that RPMs, like I said, 6,500, 7,000 RPMs at a 24-hour period, okay, that's going to wear parts out. As far as valve springs, you can drop a valve. So they had to go with a, you know, a reasonable camshaft, which makes a lot of sense. That's why that car sounded like that. And man, it did sound good though, didn't it?
Yeah.
But those were original GT40s, and my son, he will tell you, that was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing experience to see that kind of history in my hometown. And I'm excited to bring forth and show you guys from another perspective. I know Stapleton 42 talked about that, and I just wanted to reiterate, hey, you know, there's history in Charlotte, North Carolina if you want to know about racing history. So we're currently on our way home now. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Prestige Motorsports and Morrisville Dragway. So with that said, guys, I'm going to end the video here. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and feel free to share the video. And I'll talk to you guys